Hey, what's going on, crew? Welcome to another edition of Clinic Growth Secrets. This is Jeff VK with you in the studio. Today, we're going to talk about 4 strategies to ensure that your ads never go stale. It's going to be hyper tactical. We're going to get campaign level into the campaigns, ad sets, and even ad discussion. Before we do, make sure you pay the fee. That is, if you do get value from the show, share the show forward to somebody who needs to hear the content. We do grow by word of mouth and organic sharing alone. That means we're not spending money actively to grow the show in terms of sponsorships or even sort of paid ads to get more traffic to the show. We don't do either of those things. So we do ask you to share it forward. We're trying to put out a lot more content as of late. We do have a lot of discussions with docs and cash-based providers every single day. I think last time I did the math, we're taking about 20 to 30 Zoom calls over here a day with different providers and our clients. And so we want to make sure that we can share insight into what other clinics are doing and then what we're seeing behind the scenes on the advertising side to not only make sure that we're delivering, but we're also innovating with the market. And so again, if you get value, share it forward. We do grow organically. So 4 strategies to ensure that your ads never go stale or the dreaded ad fatigue. You may have heard about it. Maybe you've experienced it yourself. It's when you're advertising and you're getting leads. The leads are good quality. Maybe you're getting a good quantity of leads as well. And then it just seems to go sour. It just seems to go kind of something on like something turns off, if you will. And that could be quantity or it could be quality. And so we want to talk about when it comes to meta advertising, primarily Facebook and Instagram, as well as these other platforms, TikTok and the like, right? But primarily Meta. Meta is designed for recency, okay? And so you have to first understand that ad fatigue is actually designed by the platform. It's designed by the platform. And what that means is that Facebook and Meta and all these other platforms, they want constant uploads of content to their platform. And they are going to benefit those that follow that rule. And so when you upload an ad, say, okay, you got a video, you got some offer you want to run to get people in your clinic, you set up an ad, and then you run it, that ad is going to have a fairly predictable predetermined life cycle. Okay. And in the first, let's say probably 30 days, you're going to reach the most effective audience because you're brand new to spending money. And Facebook is smart, and Meta is smart. They want you, if you're a first-time advertiser, they want you to continue placing your dollars with their business. They want you to continue to advertise. And so what do is they make sure that your ad dollars really, really go very far in that first 30 to 90 days. Okay, they want to make sure you maximize output. Now, this can be a little bit different if you're a very competitive market and the market has seen a lot of ads and Meta has also known that the market has seen a lot of ads. You're going to have to be competitive right out of the gate. Okay, and that just requires being due diligent on your market research before you launch a campaign and seeing what other people are doing and how do I differentiate myself, but also be competitive with what the market already knows to be true. Okay, so if you have a very competitive market, that's a little bit different. But let's say you have an averagely competitive market, moderate city size. What's going to happen is that if it's your first time advertising, you're going to have good results typically right out of the gate. Okay, that's why a lot of agencies can kill it in the first 30 days. It's really not that hard because Facebook and these platforms are purposely serving your ad to high quality people because they want you to continue to advertise. Okay. Now, so what they're going to do is if you imagine a whole like a line graph or even like a pie chart, right? And you imagine that, let's say that 20% of your 100% servable audience is like really, really good leads, good quality, good caliber, good people. That's who Meta is going to serve it to right away, that 20%. Okay. And then what's going to happen is that if you keep running the same ad and you let it's going to eventually trickle down, meaning that you're eventually going to get less leads on that same ad, or the leads, you're going to get the same amount of leads, but they're going to be less quality. Okay. And so what that means is that you're in the position for a revamp. Okay. So if you let that ad keep running, it's going to start serving to different pools of people that are going to be less ideal. They might still opt in, but they're going to be less ideal and less likely to buy your services. So you can keep running that ad, just try to squeeze more, but it's actually not your smartest strategy. Okay. Letting an ad run in perpetuity is actually not a very smart strategy because the platform is simply not designed for that. And so what we want to do instead is we want to talk about the 4 ideas to combat the ad fatigue. Now, remember, just before we get into the four strategies, the guiding principle for this discussion is how the platform is designed. The platform is designed to get you the best results when you upload new content, when you start a new campaign. It wants you to get good results when you start new campaigns. Okay, that's the guiding principle for today. Okay, so how we can combat ad fatigue with four different strategies. The first strategy is duplication. So, what we do is we take our existing campaign that's running, and what we'll do is we'll not change anything. We'll just go on a meta, we'll duplicate it, we'll wait till it gets approved, and then when it's approved, we'll turn the old campaign off. We've got the same creative, we got the same content in there. We've got nothing really new, right? Now, why is that effective? So we just got done talking like we always need new content. But how can duplicating a campaign actually produce good outcome if it's not actually new content? Well, to Facebook, it might not be new content, but what it is, it's a new campaign. And so in the beginning, in the first, like, let's say $1,000 of spend on a campaign, Facebook wants it to do really well because it wants you to keep spending. So Facebook still recognizes it and kind of resets that pie chart cycle. So when you go into the new campaign, you're likely to get into that 20% again in that pie chart, that 20% that's really optimal for you to reach. That's both high quality and high caliber in terms of lead volume for your practice. And so just by going through a quick duplication, you can actually typically get back in that pocket for a short period of time. So let's say you have a Friday, like it's a Friday, and you don't have time necessarily to shoot all new creative before the weekend, but you can see it kind of going down. You can actually duplicate going into the weekend. And then what you can see from there is that you'll get better results, Saturday, Sunday into Monday. Buy yourself a little bit of time until you can upload new creative. So the duplication strategy has actually been really effective for us and our clients, especially when you're working with a limited kind of bandwidth on the creative opportunities. Okay. The second strategy is a second duplication strategy, but what we're going to do is we're going to change the creative too. So we'll duplicate the existing campaign, and then we'll swap it with new videos or new photos. Okay. We typically don't want to use repeats. So like if you've uploaded videos or uploaded photos to Meta's platform before, you can't just like go and like choose like a random photo that you've already uploaded. You want to actually create something brand new and then upload it new to Meta and then use that in the duplicated new campaign. So that new, fresh campaign combined with new, fresh creative gives Facebook double the chance of like, okay, brand new content, brand new campaign. Let's get this in front of the most ideal audience that we can find right now. Okay, again, back into that 20 to 30%, really ideal avatar, high likely to convert for the business. Let's get them in front of that person again to increase the odds they get conversion, and then also obviously Facebook again, they want you to continue to spend. So again, they're just going to get you in that pocket. Okay. So the first strategy is just basic duplication. The second one is duplication with photo change. So uploading the creative photo, video, whatever you're using. The third strategy, if you've done both of those and you're still struggling, is actually getting into the ad set level, more the audience level. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to mess around with your audience. You might have what we call audience fatigue. And so if you're running, let's say you got a clinic, you're running 5 miles around, maybe we'll up it to 6, or maybe we'll actually go down to 4 if it's too big, or maybe we'll go 4.5. We'll change it just like a little bit. Maybe we'll mess with the age range a tad. We'll change it just a tad just to see if we can get better results or maybe expand the audience, right? So in some markets, we have to kind of expand that market because there's not a lot of heads. Other markets, like, you can run it 1 mile around, but we might move the location a little bit of the pin, So you're just messing around and trying to get in a new pool of audience on these platforms because, again, your audience may be too small, it may be too big, or it just may simply be in the wrong pocket that's just not producing great quality leads. But a lot of times what you'll find is that you don't necessarily need to like move the pin from your business. You just need to expand the radius and play around with that. You rarely need to do zip code and moving things around. Then Facebook just starts charging you more for that, and you typically don't want to do that. So you want to just mess around with where that's located, and then you want to mess around with the radius on the pin. So more so like, hey, if I'm running the ads 5 miles around my clinic, maybe I'll go to 6, like I said earlier. So that's how we do that one there. That would be audience fatigue. You're trying to, make it bigger in most cases and kind of widen the net of people we can possibly reach. Okay. Now you wouldn't have to do that a ton as kind of a disclaimer if you have like a massive city, but you probably do a little bit more of that when you're playing around with a more rural market or an urban market with just like a little bit less population. The fourth strategy is actually a landing page strategy. So you have what we call funnel fatigue, which could be that you've just been running the same type of ads for so long that people have continued to click, but they found the same messaging on the back end and it's just not appealing to them, right? So we need to change up the funnel a little bit to maybe take like a little bit different of a position. Maybe we'll start with testimonials. Maybe we'll start with the opt-in, then go to testimonials. Like you're just going to play around with the page a little bit, just because the market may again be interested in the offer, but that page is just not resonating with them, so it's not getting them to continue their journey. So the landing page update or the funnel update would be the fourth strategy, in terms of getting your ads to dial back in and kind of avoiding that ad fatigue, if you will. Because the goal is to have your advertising be evergreen. You want to have 20 to 30 people per month come in every month from that platform. If you can do that month over month, roughly, then you have one very predictable channel and you can go to add more. So these are just ideas if maybe you're struggling with your own ads, or maybe you're with an agency and they're not giving you full transparency, or you want them to test some stuff. Those are the different ones we can start testing: the duplication strategy, the new updated content, the audience expansion, and then the funnel update as well, if you've been running the same type of funnel for a very long time. You may even consider, if you're running like a call funnel, or like people booking appointments with your clinic, you may even consider running a direct to call where they can call, instead of taking they coming in for the appointment. You run them to a Zoom call, you run them to a phone call. Maybe you want to do a webinar, right? So you can play around with all that kind of stuff, especially if you start to see fatigue that goes much greater than, you've updated the creative, you've duplicated things, and you're still not seeing results. You may try a whole different position. Again, that's number 4 with the funnel change. So hopefully that's helpful, guys. If you have any questions, as always, let me know on these ideas. Follow me on social, send me a DM. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them kind of more intimately, personally. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a super solid day. And if you got value, pay it forward. Somebody who needs to hear it. This is for ad fatigue. So send it to a buddy or a pal who's just been really frustrated with their ads and needs to hear this. So you guys are great as always. See you guys in the next episode. Take care.